Welcome to 9 to Thrive, Lead Generation Uncovered with myself, Nikki Williams, business mentor, and Laura Burnett, tech geek and email marketing guru and extraordinaire from the Thrive Business Academy. I hope you like the introduction I do every week, Laura, because I make a little twist on it every single time. And it's just because you're
I love it.
Yeah. Laura and I have come together because we're both passionate about telling you the truth and not what the gurus say about your online business, how to grow and support your lead generation and income growth. Today we're going to be, last podcast episode, we talked about our making sure that we've got a habit of tracking our stats and our goals. Today, we're talking about what social media stats actually mean to us. Because when people hear social media stats, they're like, oh my goodness, what do I actually mean? I don't know what these, or they get so enveloped in how many people have liked or commented or etc. etc. So we're going to be explaining in this short episode, what do social media stats actually mean and what do you actually need to know?
Exactly that. So one of the things that people often track as a main thing is obviously their followers or their connections. So depending on what platform you're using will depend on what it's called. So like on Instagram, it's called followers. On LinkedIn, you have both. You have followers and you have connections on LinkedIn. Which I will say the difference between them two after, but we'll stick to it in a minute. So when we're talking about followers, we're about the amount of people who are following your profile on that platform. So if you've got 100 followers on Instagram, you've got 100 people who have clicked that follow button. So they've gone to your profile, they've clicked the follow button, and they're actually following what your posts are through their feed. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to see all of your posts, though. We'll just say that. Obviously, that's all dependent on the algorithm. But it just allows them to start seeing your actual content. Whereas obviously you have connections as well on LinkedIn. And the difference with that is on LinkedIn, if you've got a connection, it will allow you to direct message each other. So if you're only following someone, you can't direct message them. Whereas also it allows you to see their other network. So for instance, if Nikki was connected to me, which she is, she will sometimes see my connections posts as well, even though she's not connected with them, just because I might have commented on and things like that. Whereas if she was just following me, she'd only see my posts and nothing to do with other people, just my posts. So that's the difference between them two. And your followers is often, I'd say it's still important. It's an important figure, isn't it, Nikki?
Oh, definitely. But not to get so held up on, because you can connect. So LinkedIn is my platform of choice. And I want to increase my connections because that's what I actually have control over. Now, if they connect with me or they decide to follow me but not connect with me, I have no control over that. If they connect with me, I have control whether to accept them or to not accept them. So I am only interested, for me on LinkedIn, is how many people I connect with a day or week, a month, etc. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Nope, that makes total sense. And it's also, it doesn't mean if you had 5,000 followers and someone else has got 1,000, the person with 1,000 followers could actually be getting more leads. They could actually be getting more engagement than you with 5,000. So for the amount of followers, don't get bogged down by it. You can still make an impact with 500. You know, it does help having a bigger following, but only if you've kept with a strategy. We'll mention that.
Yeah, that again, it's about having the right people. We're always about getting the right leads, the right people in your audience. Otherwise, if you're going to go into the NEC and you've got several thousand people, individuals in there, and it's a pick and mix. It's like a Christmas market. So you've got people going for wine, some cheeses, got a bit of all sorts. But what you want to do, and if you're just having somebody, you're selling, I don't know, virgin oil. I don't know why that came from. It's nearly lunchtime. I'm thinking about food. Then you want to be trying to attract the people that want virgin oil. Okay. So that's the whole point of too many followers that aren't the right followers. It's no good to anybody. Same with your email marketing.
Definitely. And then another one that you see often is the reach. So the reach, or sometimes it's called impressions, depending on what platform you're on again. So, and this is quite a big focus because obviously you want to get your social media post in front of many eyes as possible. Again, it's not the all end all, but it could be your goal. Again, it goes back to what your goals are. And the reach means, so if you've got a post and it says you've got 300 reach or 300 impressions, that does not mean 300 people have read your post, which a lot of people actually presume it means. It means 300 people have had that appear on their feed. So when you load up your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Facebook on your profile, you'll be scrolling through. And if you scroll past Nikki's post, Nikki's now got 1 reach. Because you might have scrolled past it, you might have read it. It's appeared on your feed, and whatever action you've took, we'll not know. We just know it's appeared on your feed. And that's what it means by the reach and impressions. It's not how many people have read your post, like most people believe it is. It's how many times it's appeared on someone's feed. And the reason why we need to think about that scroll stopping graphic or that scroll stopping first line of your actual post.
Because I mean, we scroll. Most people just scroll. They're just scrolling through, generally on a mobile, I believe. And sometimes, how many seconds is it that somebody has to stop for that to be counted? Because it might be.
No, it just has to have appeared. It just has to have appeared to count as a reach.
So, really what we want to do is get people engaging with it then.
Which brings us on to the next step, the engagement steps. So a lot of people say it's all about engagement, but what does engagement actually mean? So it can be broken down really into 3 different stats. You've got your likes, you've got your shares, and you've got your comments. So likes, we've all seen it on obviously different platforms do different things. LinkedIn have only just recently, a few months ago, brought in different reactions, but it's when someone presses that button, that like button, and every single platform has it, I believe, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
YouTube even have it.
It's a great way to, express yourself much easier now with these, these emojis. No, not really. What are they?
I don't know what we'd call them.
Anyway,
actually.
Yes. Smiley faces, happy faces, that's.
And the good thing about it is then you can weight up, Kites. If you've got 1,000 reach on your post, but you only had 2 likes, well, there may be an issue because people didn't stop at your post to like it. They just scrolled past it. Whereas if you've got 1,000 reach, you might have 30, 50 likes. Well, that's a much higher percentage, isn't it? So you're like, yep, that post stopped people. It's made people want to like my post. So it's a good idea. It's not the BN, some people may see your post, never like it, never comment on it, and you will never, ever know they read your post. It happens all the time, and they're the ones who often buy from us, surprisingly. But the likes give you a little bit of leeway of have people actually stopped at my post, and you can tell that, can't you, from the likes?
Yeah.
And then comments is what we really want. We really want comments, don't we, Nikki?
Yeah, that's what I would call like the star, the one that gets the star, because you essentially are making relationships. So the likes, yeah, that's nice, but actually the relationship building is what you want, because remember, it's a cold audience generally on social media, and you've got to warm them up. And you wouldn't just go into a networking session face to face, not say hello and just hand somebody your business card and say, right, I'm selling this. So you've got to engage with each other, warm each other up, find out whether you like each other, what's interesting about them, whether your businesses can work together, whether you can work as a client or a client of theirs. You've got to suss each other out, and you can only do that by engaging in content initially. DMing isn't something that we even talk about with regard to this, because it's about those first impressions, which is gaining the stopping in the feed, and then making something that's so interesting that somebody wants, or your ideal client, not just anybody, wants to engage with it.
Exactly. And we all want that, don't we?
To engage back, because that's the whole point. Yes. So, yeah.
And that's another point when you look at your comments. If you've got 20 comments, that could be you've had 10 people comment and you've replied to 10 comments. So it includes your comments generally in that count. So you may see someone, oh, they've got 50 comments, and you might think absolutely amazing. Well, actually, it could be 25 comments and they've commented 25 times. Or they might just had a conversation with one person over 50 comments. I've had that before in one of my tea and coffee debates, which went on very long in comments. So don't always think just because someone's got lots of comments that it's lots of different people.
And some people teach a strategy where they comment a lot on their own posts. I don't teach that, but because I just think that looks weird, to be fair.
It does. It does look weird.
But what it's doing is unless you're actually just get out of everybody else's lane and get into your lane, focus on your stuff, your engagement, and building that that relationship.
And then obviously the last stat, it's not really looked at too much now, which is sharing. And that's the amount of shares that your post has had. So if you've got 2 shares, that means 2 people have shared your post. Generally, the algorithm currently, as it stands, doesn't really do much about that. But there have been occasions where if you shared a post, it did get a lot more reach because obviously that other person's network would see that post. Generally doesn't get seen that way now, so I wouldn't really bog yourself down with that stat. But if you do want to know what that stat is, it's quite simple. How many people shared your post onto their own platform itself? And they're pretty much your basic stats, aren't they?
Yeah, they say that's when it used to go viral, when it used to get shared everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I don't think that matters a dot now. So you're absolutely right.
All about the feed now. All about the feed and getting that appearing in the feed. And they're basically your main ones. There is other stats that are on different platforms, which we're not really going to cover, just covering them generic ones. So obviously you've got your followers or connections. You've got your reach / impressions. And then obviously you've got your likes, shares, and comments. And I think that's pretty much them all, isn't it, Nikki?
I think we've absolutely nailed that.
I think we have. So we will leave it there for this episode. But of course, if you do want to find out more about us and you want to learn how you can work with us or anything like that, then feel free to join us inside any of our memberships. We have the Email Marketing Made Easy, which you can find at thethrivebusinessacademy.com/EMME, or you can go to join us in the Thrive Business Academy, which is just thethrivebusinessacademy.com. But make sure to tune in for the next episode because we will go a bit more into social media and tell you the 3 steps to generating more leads. So 100% check out that next episode when it comes out. And have an amazing day, everyone.